believe, actually, Zena-san and Oleg-san is the first rookie. They're so capable. And Mike-san has a lot of good experience, various kind of experience. So last mission was 10 years ago, so I'm very looking forward to going back to my home, ISS. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Oleg Platonov, and I will be a mission specialist for our Crew-11. First of all, I'd like to say this will be my first flight in the space, and I'm so glad to be here at NASA, and I'm really happy to be in our crew, and I'm looking forward to have this flight because, as I have already said, this is my first flight, and I'm very excited with this flight. I hope we will have a great time on ISS, and we will do a lot of useful and necessary work on ISS, and a lot of useful research. Also, I'd like to say thank you, my crewmates, for everything. You helped me every time. And also, I really appreciate my instructors in NASA, in Russia, my teachers who gave me knowledge, who gave me skills, and I'm very excited to see us in space as soon as possible and on time.
Ura.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for those opening remarks. We're going to go ahead and take some questions here in the room. When you ask your question, please state your name and media affiliation. Do we have questions here in the room?
Hi, Will Robinson Smith with Spaceflight Now. Good to see you all today. Maybe just going down the row, can you talk about some of the personal effects that you're going to be bringing with you on station, and the reason that you've chosen them, given that you have a limited capability to bring personal effects? Thanks.
Yeah, for me, many of the things that I'm bringing are photographs, whether that's photos of people who are meaningful to me, family members and friends, or photographs that we're carrying for our team members. Just as Oleg said in his introduction, our training team and our instructors and the flight controllers who keep us safe while we fly are so important to this mission. I am also in the interesting position of having a lot of my stuff on ISS already from my previous training with Crew-9. My father passed away about a year ago, and I'm very much looking forward to reuniting with some cards that he sent.
As for me, I mentioned earlier that we're a whole bunch of milestones coming up. I've been married to my beautiful wife for 25.5 years, and what I'm bringing up is she is of Indian origin, and her part of India, from the state of Assam, we wear gamosas, which is like a silk scarf, and I brought one on my previous three missions, and so I'm going to bring another one. It's so knowing I'll carry the blessings of the Indian side of my family.
For me, just like Zena-san, I'm actually bringing a lot of pictures. Yeah, of course, my family members, and also my friends, and also my colleagues. And I'm really looking forward to take some pictures from space, and give it back to the important people for me. Thank you.
I also took with me a few pictures, photos, and a couple toys for my children, and something special, and only things which will remind me about Earth, my family, and about my background.
I'm bringing pictures of Oleg.
Thank you, Michael.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Mark Carothus, Aviation Week in Space Technology. I believe this is for Mike. You've, among your crew, flown the most on the space station, and you'll be aboard when you reach the 25th anniversary of constant crew. And I'm just wondering, from your perspective, when you started out, did you think that would happen or you wanted it. I'm not sure what your perspective is, but what do you think that is in terms of an accomplishment and historical significance?
Thanks, Mark. I could probably go on for a half-hour special on this, but really, in short, I was in the astronaut class of 1996. Such famous luminaries as Peggy Whitson, who's currently in space, Don Pettit, who just came back. And during that time, we didn't have a space station yet. We were just building it. Part of my first job as an astronaut was to help with work with our newly partnered Russian folks. So I was in the FGB, the functional cargo block, before it flew. Same thing with service module. And so I remember when space station was just pieces here on the ground. And I cannot say how amazed and proud I am of human beings from all over this planet working together pretty darn well to build this International Space Station. 25 years of continuous human presence, even though we've had interesting small hiccups along the way, we've done really super well. We were worried about all these EVAs we were going to do to build it, and we did, and nobody got hurt. And we have a beautiful space station. I'm very proud of our space station. I know it's coming near its time, but this is something that I think that humans should just really remember of all the cool things we can do when we work together constructively. I can go on, but that's the short answer, sir.
We'll take our next question from right up here in the front.
Okay. Richard Two with the Post newspaper. This question is for Zena and Oleg. Being that this is your first flight, what's helped you the most prepare for this?
Oh my goodness. Well, we have incredible teams who train us for all of the technical side, but I have to say that getting to train with teammates like Kimiya and Mike, who have this incredible experience, who have flown before, who have trained and flown on multiple different vehicles, having that different perspective, different approaches to spaceflight, how we solve these problems together, has been incredibly valuable. Their friendship and their mentorship have both made the difference for me.
I'm right back at you.
Ну, вряд ли вы меня поймете, но я хотел бы сказать несколько слов и на родном языке, раз уж речь зашла о подготовке.
Well, I hope that you will understand me. I'll speak Russian because I want to say a few words in my native language.
Yeah. Что мне помогло? Хоть это будет мой первый полет, но у меня было уже предыдущее назначение. Я был в экипаже «Союза» вместе с Алексеем Овчининым и Трейси Дайсон. Мы готовились в качестве дублирующего экипажа.
True, this is going to be my first flight, but I've had training before. Before I was assigned as part of a Soyuz mission, and I trained with Alexei Ovchinin and Tracy Colwell-Dyson.
И у меня за вот это время подготовки, а я потратил на подготовку в этом экипаже год с половиной, где-то год и 6 месяцев.
I was a backup crew member back then, but I spent about 18 months training.
И у меня было полное понимание, как работает система, как люди летают в космос, как корабли летают в космос.
And so I had a full understanding of how the systems works, how vehicles fly, what's happening in space.
Ну и, конечно же, команда сильных инструкторов, мои соэкипажники Зина, Майкл и Кимия посвятили меня во все новые нюансы, во все подробности, и я надеюсь, что я справился с процессом подготовки на самые хорошие оценки, и обещаю, что в полете я не подведу моих товарищей.
And I want to pay homage to my instructors and to my crew members, to Zena, to Mike, and to Kimiya. They allowed me into the new secrets and updates, so I can promise that I will not let anyone down.
We'll take our next question here in the room.
Marcus Harvey from Astropreneurs. Interested in the different types of team building activities you participated in preparation for this mission, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I can start. A lot of it is really just spending time together, much of our training is at other facilities off-site from Johnson Space Center, and of course half of our crew aren't based here in Houston full-time. We spend a great deal of time training together in Hawthorne, California with SpaceX, and also abroad with our partner agencies, the Japanese Space Agency, and in Russia with Roscosmos. So we get to have time together where we're not only training, but then we can spend our evenings together exploring the town, exploring the city, just building a bond of friendship in addition to the technical challenges of getting ready for spaceflight. And I think all of us, having done training with previous crews, had opportunities to do training like Knowles with the National Outdoor Leadership School. We all come in with a really solid skill set of how to work together when the stakes are real.
I'm going to go ahead and take a question on the phone. I know we've got a big list on there. We'll start with Josh Dinner with Space.com.
For doing this. I have a bit of a logistics question, probably for Zena or Mike. You have a particularly long transit to the station, 35 hours from launch to rendezvous. Are there any new contingency procedures in place if docking is delayed but beyond your 40-hour window? And then for everybody, regarding the 25th anniversary of continuous human spaceflight, what does that milestone mean for each of you, and how does being aboard for that anniversary shape the legacy you hope to leave with this mission?
Sure, I can take the first half and then I'll pass it along. As far as the long phasing, we are within our limits for phasing on the way there. Otherwise, we would choose a different launch date. And this is a combination of human comfort, but also the consumables within the vehicle. We've got a lot of flexibility in those limits because we're also keeping track of our needs for the downhill. We have to get to the space station, but we also need to get home again. So there's plenty of flexibility built in, and we have great teams of people who are making sure that we stay within those limits.
And we'll be happy to be in space.
That's exactly right.
International Space Station.
Please.
Yeah, I think I already kind of answered that. I'd like to give the time to my colleague from Japan.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And Russia.
Yeah. Yes. So for me, like International Space Station is kind of like a symbol for the humanity of like a unity or cooperation. And unfortunately, right now, I think like if we look at the news, a lot of like news about like a divide or conflict, but ISS is completely different, completely opposite. We actually respect, each country has different culture or language, history, but we actually respect each other differences and actually working together and get really great results. So I think this is a very, hope for the humankind. We can do this, and we should remember this great result.
We're going to continue on with our phone bridge and go to Marcia Dunn with the Associated Press. Marcia, do we have you? You might be muted. All right, well, we can come back to you, Marcia. Let's go instead to Robert Perlman with Collect Space.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Mike, you mentioned the 50th anniversary of the Apollo-Soyuz test project next week, and you and Kimiya are perhaps old enough to remember the mission. I wonder if you have any particular memories of as that mission unfolded as you were kids and watching it. And then for Zena and Oleg, how do you think the legacy of that mission still holds up at 50 years, given that as the ISS comes to close, so seemingly does the cooperation between Russia and the U.S. in space?
Robert, hi, Mike Fincke here. I was 8 years old, so you guys can do the math. And I remember I was outside with my younger brothers and sisters, and I ran inside to go watch it on TV because I knew it was something really cool, and I knew that at that time I wanted to be an astronaut. And I will say it made a really huge impression on me to see some people from Soviet Union, which at the time we were not very good friends with in the middle of the Cold War, and then these brave American astronauts, and yet they got along really well and cordially, and and with friendship. And since then, I've had a chance to meet a lot of the Soyuz, Apollo-Soyuz crew, including Tom Stafford and Alexei Leonov, and it was like my childhood heroes. I got to meet them and be a colleague for them. In fact, Leonov even once said, after talking to him for a few minutes, he said, "Wait a second, you're not Russian?" It's like, "No, sir." So it's a really good memory, but it made a big impression, not just on me, but the rest of the world, that if Soviet Union and the United States can work together in space, then maybe we can work together here on Earth too.
Yeah.
You're much younger than me, so I'm interested
right.
to see what you have to say.
Actually, I cannot remember that, but yeah. But actually, I read about that in the book. Yeah, when I was in elementary school, and I was so surprised. Actually, during that time, Cold War, so we are really afraid. Actually, we may ended up like a nuclear war or something like that. But actually, at the time, United States and also Soviet Union worked together and get great results. So I was so impressed. I was very little child, but so impressed.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Ryan Caton with NASASpaceflight.com.
Hey everyone, thanks for doing this. It's great to see you all. For Mike and Kimiya, Mike, you've obviously been involved in the development of Starliner for quite some time. You've flown Shuttle, you've flown Soyuz. Kimiya, you've flown Soyuz. Are there any interesting differences that you two have noticed with the training for Crew-11 aboard Dragon? Thank you.
So do you want to start and I can finish?
Please.
Okay,
yeah.
So Dragon, it's my fourth spacecraft, if you don't count the space station, to learn how to fly. And SpaceX has done a great job. The differences, every spacecraft is different. My first one to learn to fly really was Soyuz, so then Shuttle, but Starliner too. But Dragon is unique and different. The control interface for the commander and pilot is touchscreen. We have a lot of insight, and I was very happy to see how much situational awareness we can build as flyers. It's a very automated and automatic spacecraft, so we can see the things happening. We don't have as much, control sticks to fly, but we have a manual flying capability. So I'm really excited to. I was really extremely excited to be put on a Dragon crew and learn how to fly from Zena and our instructors at SpaceX. We're grateful to Paul and the rest of the team for teaching us, and boy, I really like. I can't wait to fly in Dragon.
Yeah. Actually, Mike-san explained a lot, and actually quite different. Of course, Soyuz and also SpaceX Crew-11, but I like both. Actually, both good. Concept is different, but both good. So I really want to fly. I mean, looking forward to fly with Crew-11, but also want to fly with Soyuz again. So both good.
We'll take another question on our phone bridge. Let's go back to Marcia Dunn with the Associated Press. Marcia, do we have you this time?
Yes, hi. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button on the phone. Two of you had your lives disrupted and put on hold because of the Starliner trouble. Zena and Mike, how difficult was it to deal with all of that? And how much commotion did it cause, not just for you, but for the entire astronaut corps?
Yeah, that's a great question. From my perspective, if I think about it only as an individual and how it affected me, yes, of course, it was an unexpected change, but spaceflight is not about me or about any individual. It's about what we can do together. None of us can do this by ourselves. I had many hopes for Crew-9, but my only promise was to do everything in my control for a safe splashdown of Crew-9, and we did that together. That is the most important thing. And now I have the opportunity to train with this wonderful, amazing crew. Life is a journey. It takes many turns, and I'm just grateful to be here.
And yeah, we were very surprised and we were joyed when we got Starliner up into space, and our friends Butch and Sunny docking to the space station, and then things changed. I had already been training for Starliner 1 with Kimiya-san, and he moved over to Dragon, and then I chased after him on this mission. And it's often said that it's not when you fly, but with whom you fly. And it worked out super well. And then Oleg came and joined us, and it was complete. This is, again, a great crew. And yeah, Starliner changed a lot in our office. Starliner is really important that we have more opportunities and more capabilities to fly into space. And that's why the Commercial Crew Program is still working hard with Boeing to get Starliner to be a viable transportation system up and down to the space station. And we are wishing them luck.
All right, we'll take our next question with Nikio with NXK.
Hi, thank you for doing this. My question is for Kimiya-san. So you will be welcomed by Japanese astronaut Takuya Onishi-san when you arrive at ISS next month. So can you please talk a little bit about how you plan to carry on his work as a Japanese astronaut? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the good question. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to actually, meet with him. He's one of my best friends, and also he actually doing great job on orbit. That's actually big pressure for me. Yeah, he actually raised my hurdle. But I just want to continue his like a way to do the job. That way, actually, the ground team will be much easier to continue actually ISS operations. But I'd like to also change a little bit more like I just want to use my ability to consider ground people. Then I hope ground people will like me more than Takuya-san. Probably that's impossible, but I'll try. Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Manuel Manzanti with Exploración Espacial.
Thank you so much, Manuel Manzanti, Exploración Espacial. Congrats on the upcoming mission. You know, during the previous call, we heard that NASA is working on extending the crew rotation missions from 6 to 8 months. I think I missed the why. Maybe you can clarify that to me. And a question for Zena and or Mike, what would you think are the pros and cons of being 2 more months in space? Thank you.
From my perspective, I can't wait to be in space, and 2 extra months would be a gift. Yes, we're baselined for 6 months right now with the ability to extend that pending further analysis of our Dragon spacecraft. For me, it would be an absolute privilege to stay for even longer.
Yes, I'm looking forward to spending 6 months with you all, along with the Soyuz crews on both sides of our mission. It's going to be a great and successful, a lot of accomplishments. But to be honest, if it weren't for my wonderful family, whom I love very much, I'd probably stay up there longer than Don Pettit. In other words, I wouldn't want to have to come back, except that I really, really like my family a lot. So that's the only con, is that I'll miss my family, but the pro is that I have my family here also. And however long they have us there, we're going to do our very best and enjoy it. Every day would be a gift.
And we'll be following along. We'll take a question from David Curley with Full Throttle.
Thank you very much. Mike, a little more pointed question. You were really invested in the Starliner. The call comes, do you want to move over to Crew-11 and the Dragon, excuse me. Did you have any conversations with yourself, and do you think you may still get a chance to fly Starliner?
Ooh. Talk about pointed questions. So I think my good friend and Commander Zena-san said it best. We're here to help serve what our country needs, our individual countries. And if NASA needed me to fly Starliner, I tried to be the best Starliner person I could be. And they asked if I could support Zena and be her pilot for Dragon, and I said yes, because that's what we needed. And boy, that was the right answer. So yeah, will I ever get a chance to fly Starliner? I'm one of 3 certified, qualified pilots for Starliner. You know, Butch and Sonny are the other 2. So if I were ever offered a chance and that's what the country needed, it'd be hard to say no. And go Starliner, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to switch over to a social media question before moving back into the room here. I think this question is going to be for Mike and Kimiya as seasoned flyers. B on X asks, what's one food item each crew member can't live without on station?
Oh, hey, since you did that, I'm going to answer what you that you like vegetables. No.
Sorry.
My favorite space food is tortillas. We brought them up as we learning to fly in space here from Texas, and the tortilla is a perfect plate, and you can put all your food on. So they're sending extra tortillas, and I'll share them with my friends.
Yeah, for me, any
Vegetables.
Japanese food, no, not vegetable. Yeah, any Japanese food is very important. Not for only my favorite, but everybody likes it. So whenever actually anybody help my like job, I just try to provide my Japanese food as a gift. So yeah, that's also very important. Once I give that to everybody, yeah, everybody happy to help me. So that's kind of very important. Japanese food.
Sounds like a plan. We'll take our question from right here in the room.
Yes, thanks for allowing a second question. Maybe first to Zena and Oleg, referring back to Robert Perlman's question about the future in space for the U.S. and Russia now that the ISS is coming to an end, but then to Mike and Kimiya, given that you're going back to space and obviously very excited to do so, what's something that maybe you didn't get the chance to do, in your first three go-arounds, your first go-around, that you're, especially hoping to tick that box this time around, or maybe do again because you missed it so much? Thanks.
For me, I was born into a world that already knew this partnership, and I've never known life without it. It's amazing to think about. There are adults now who have never known a world without continuous human presence in space. That's amazing and makes me just so excited to see what happens in the coming decades, generations to come. I look forward to perhaps having the opportunity to fly Soyuz with Oleg as my commander. That would be incredible. And even at the end of the International Space Station's timeline, this is a partnership that becomes friendship and family that I will have forever. One of my favorite things in the world is my cosmonaut colleague referring to me as Zena-san. What a beautiful representation of this crew that we have.
Но мы будем скоро праздновать 50 лет со дня первого международного полета по программе «Союз-Аполлон» или «Аполлон-Союз», как Майкл сказал.
Well, soon we will celebrate 50th anniversary of Apollo-Soyuz flight, or Soyuz-Apollo flight, which was the first international flight.
После этого были полеты по программе «Мир-Шаттл». Сейчас Международная космическая станция. И все эти 50 лет международное сотрудничество показало свою блестящую эффективность. И я верю и надеюсь, что и в будущем мы будем иметь совместные программы и будем работать над исследованием космоса на благо не конкретной страны, а всего человечества.
After that, we had a Mir shuttle program, then ISS, and during these 50 years, this international cooperation has proven to be very effective, and I'm hoping that in the future we will have more joint programs, and we will explore space and conduct experiments, not just for one country, but for all humankind.
Thank you. I'm going to switch over to a social media question now. This one is for Mike. Jim Reed on X asks, how many ham radio contacts does Astro Iron Mike think he will make on the space station?
Ooh. Amateur radio aboard the International Space Station is a really great way for us to interact with fellow humans from space to Earth and Earth to space. On my first mission, I was able to talk to all 7 continents, and I'm looking forward to talking to more of my fellow Earthlings from space. I think I'll have to schedule the amateur radios on board from my colleagues here who are also going to really enjoy the chance to talk to folks from all over the world. So thanks for that question, because that just reminded me, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to too.
We're going to head back to the phone bridge now, going to Maximilian Kent with Dean Daly. Phone bridge, if Maximilian can be moved up. Okay, go ahead with your question.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to ask all of you guys, what is it personally that made you guys say yes to the mission? I know that some of you have gone again. This is not your first time. But also with that, what part of who you are makes spaceflight something you feel like you're called to do?
I can start and we'll go down the line. For me, I grew up with interest in science and exploration. In college, I had the great opportunity to do a lot of research in remote locations, places like Antarctica or offshore on ships, and I grew to love the operational side of it and the teamwork side of it. I wanted to join NASA and human spaceflight for the opportunity to take part in something that's greater than I could possibly do on my own. And this collaborative spirit and interaction that I get internationally is one of the most meaningful aspects. For Crew-11 specifically, it was a no-brainer. I can't imagine saying no to that opportunity. It's a dream come true for even the chance to train for spaceflight, and it's hard to imagine that it's really actually on our doorstep.
No.
Yes. So when I was a little boy, I really liked watching stars, and I really wanted to become an astronaut or astronomer. Then actually I decided to go to military and became a test pilot. And I think space flight very much to the test pilot job. So I think I hope I can work properly and contribute to space program. Yeah, for this mission as well. Thank you.
I have approximately the same story like Kimiya-san, because I also was a military pilot, and my dream in my childhood was to be a pilot, and after that I got a dream to be a cosmonaut, and now I am a cosmonaut. And after a couple weeks we will go to space with my crew.
I'll just conclude quickly, though, is that I was inspired by watching people walk on the moon. I'm not sure my colleagues are old enough to remember that, and that really inspired me to watch astronauts, humans walk on the moon. So as we fly aboard space station, we're hoping that maybe we'll be close to the Artemis 2 mission and seeing some more friends go around the moon. So this is it would be kind of almost a full circle for me. So we'll see.
All right, I've got some questions from Instagram here in front of me, and I think I might combine two of them because I think that they're a little bit related. One of them asks, what's the morning routine like for astronauts on the International Space Station? And the other question asks, are you going to put hot sauce on your breakfast?
Kimiya-san, you remember mornings?
Yeah, morning. Yeah, that's actually sometimes pretty busy. Sometimes we have experiments, so we have a blood sampling or a urine sampling. But usually we have enough time to prepare breakfast and also prepare for the for the briefing or starting our activities. And I really like actually hot stuff. So yeah, I love hot sauce. I probably put a lot of hot sauce on my breakfast.
You can have my hot sauce.
Oh, thank you. Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up with this question that we got on Instagram as well. What scientific research will be conducted in this mission?
Oh, we have so many different experiments that will be on board with us. I'll share one that I'm taking part in. It's called CIPHER. This is a comprehensive study integrating a lot of different smaller experiments where I am actually the test subject. A lot of what we do is research on the human body. This is because we as human beings experience a lot of the same changes that immunocompromised or aging populations on Earth experience. And so this is really not only interesting research to do as we prepare to go farther afield, back to the moon for longer durations and onward to Mars, but it's also incredibly valuable for figuring things out for people here on Earth.
We'll actually take one more question here in the room.
Richard 2 of the Post newspaper again. This question is for Mike, following up with someone else asking you about ham radio. Being an operator myself from one ham to another, what do you think the importance of continuing to use the technology on the ISS does, not just for the current generation, but maybe generations of potential hams to come?
Yeah, so the International Space Station is really about humans in space. And especially now with the commercial crew program doing so well and other opportunities, more and more people are getting a chance to fly in space. But with the amateur radio aboard the International Space Station, we're able to bring people with us because we can't bring everybody all the time. It would be great if we had a whole bunch of big rockets to take us, but until then we have amateur radio. We have our downlinks with our public affairs. We really try to share the adventure. A ticket to space is very expensive, but it's pretty easy to talk to your buddies aboard the space station or your buddies all over the planet Earth, and it's really neat. I just remember like one of my very first passes, we were in the service module waiting for food to warm up, and I looked out the window and I said, oh, that looks like South Africa. I picked up the thing, and all of a sudden I'm talking to a guy who's driving across a desert in South Africa. And it was, how cool is that?
It's beautiful.
So this is a way for people and space and to connect.
That sounds amazing. Well, that is all of the questions that we have here today, so we're going to go ahead and end here. Thank you for joining us. You can keep up with the crew leading up into their launch on social media and on nasa.gov. That's all the questions we got, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.